Al. Welcome back to another episode of That Mortgage Show. It's June 7th. The temperature's heating up, and so is the real estate market. Al, what you got, baby?
Sunshine, dogs barking, grills are fired up, hot dogs, hamburgers, houses being sold. God bless America.
God bless America indeed. Yesterday was D-Day. Never forget.
Flags flying. Mm-hmm.
Storm the
Never forget.
beaches.
Storming beaches. Greatest
All right.
generation.
So, we have a lot going on in our industry. Obviously, there's turmoil in the economy. There's things that are happening that affect stuff. Al, why don't you kick us off into our first segment?
Yeah, first segment's going to be what's your rate? What's your rate? Every week, every episode. Never miss it. Ab, what do you got?
All right, so rates, they go up, they come down. They're going to continue to go up and come down probably until the Federal Reserve makes a decision on when they're going to cut rates or the election happens.
Yeah.
So we've seen, it's just like a little.
Yeah, nothing crazy. No cliffs, right? No mountains, no plateaus, no cliffs. Well, plateaus we've seen, but still seeing movement week to week. Nothing crazy, depending on market data and economic news. Still room to catch a little dip in the rates. Keep in mind, we're talking about a dip, not a trench, right? Maybe a quarter of a point, not a whole point, something like that.
So let's see. What do we got going on that's affecting rates lately? While we wait on the Fed to do something, we keep an eye on the data that they're keeping an eye on. So here's a quick recap of the recent data that's come out. U.S. job openings fell to its lowest level since 2021. New job ads came in about 25,000 jobs under what was expected, which is the slowest growth this year. We had mortgage applications decline 5.2% to its lowest level since February. Not something that we were super excited to report, but
no, part of that is because the rates kind of jumped up.
Right. Yeah, and it's just a fact. We had a jobs report come out this morning, which I haven't had time to really get into, but just reading the headlines, it shows accelerating job growth despite the earlier news on jobs. And then lastly, home listings inventory is stabilizing, but buyers are still shy due to high prices and rates. National Association of Realtors tracks new contract signings. So those are those folks that are putting offers in, getting them accepted, and going under contract. That number, according to NAR, dropped to a 4-year low in the last week. So little frightening. You don't want to necessarily hear that, but it is market dependent. I live in Florida. It seems to be a bustling market. And then Al, you're in Maryland, which is our home.
Heating up. But get bad news. We're used to it by now. We've had 2 years of it. You know what I mean? We've been riding this wave. We're callous to it. It's like walking barefoot on the rocks. You do it for a couple weeks, couple months. It doesn't phase you anymore, right? But big indicators of the economy slowing, which in theory should cool inflation. Who knows though? Now it allow the Fed to kind of ease their policy, leading to rate cuts and hopefully leading to more qualified buyers, more motivated sellers, an epic recovery, and of course, cheese. Eat some cheese, pop some champagne, have a good time.
Yeah, so looking ahead, the Federal Reserve meets next week. Nobody expects them to cut rates. This meeting, but they're going to come out and they're going to talk. And depending on what they say, they could allude to future rate cuts. They could allude to taking a step back. Who knows? But whatever they say, the market will react. And we should mention that Europeans' version of the Federal Reserve, they met this week and they did cut their rate. I don't think that our Federal Reserve is gonna follow suit, but they have so the Federal Reserve has had, or the European version has had similar similar take on inflation and global inflation, and they cut. So hopefully that, is the old bird in the coal mine, or what, canary in the coal mine for us. But
Well, that.
let's get into our fellow that we
Get
have in
an
the
idea
waiting
of
room.
what's going on in the market. How about that?
In the local home market, we're talking Maryland, crab cakes,
Ooh.
lacrosse, stranded cargo ships, the wire, Balmer, hun.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bring
God's
in
country. God's country.
God's
Right?
country, indeed. To give us that heat check, we're bringing in potentially the hottest man in the Maryland real estate market, Mike
Mm.
Mislinski. Let's bring him in.
Bring him in. Real estate Mike, the realtor in the field. Look at this guy.
Oh my goodness. Well, happy to be here. The market here is very niche down. So one pocket might be out of control, and then the next one might be slow as a turtle. So it just
Really?
depends. Yeah.
Huh.
What does it depend on?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is, so we're ending schools right now. So people are gearing up to move for the next school year. So if you are living in an area that is highly sought after or uh, highly considerable for their school system, then you'll see a lot of that and people moving to those areas if they can. That being said, there's usually not a lot of homes in those areas available. So the frenzy, gets out of control. I mean, we had most recently a listing in Northern Potomac, and we priced it, and right in the ballpark of where it should be going, give or take, and it went way over with no contingencies and
Oh, wow.
multiple offers. And then
How many offers, if you can, like a guesstimate of how many?
this one had five, so it's not too many.
It's a lot,
Then
though.
yeah,
How many
and
days in the
then
market until you had five offers in hand?
four.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was first day on market was a Saturday also instead of a Thursday or a Friday, so it was like a little late in the week. But we wanted to get it out, and the sellers wanted to get it out, so that's what we did, and that's what happened to that one. And then on the flip side, I've had one in a northern part of Baltimore County, and it's basically on the Pennsylvania line. The school system is really good there.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not really convenient to shopping or just commuting at all, right?
Yeah.
So it's to get to the highway, you're 15 minutes out, and then you have your commute. So that one sat on the market almost a month, and then it went under contract.
So,
Damn.
so you said it's niche down. Can you give us an idea, like overall, of inventory? Is there more inventory coming on? Does it seem like because we were in a serious inventory crisis for some time?
Yeah.
What are you
So
seeing?
in the luxury market, so like as you approach like some of like the eight and above, you're starting to see a little bit more, albeit those homes are typically not coming onto market like prepared to be on market, meaning they need a lot of stuff done to them to really make you feel good about buying $1 million house or higher. But they're
Right.
coming on. And then in in like the more normal area of homes, like, your 3s to 7, there's still really not a lot there. But if you have a townhome, those things will come on and then they're off the next day or two.
Oh,
So
really?
you essentially have to be on it. If you got to be in the game, fully in the game. You cannot be hesitating or on the fence or casually looking, because you're
Mm-hmm.
just going to be wasting your time and your agent's time, because
Yeah.
you have to be all in, ready to go, drop of a hat, let's go see the house in that kind of price point.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth there, Mikey, but it sounds like what you're trying to say is before you get out there and start looking at houses, you probably want to talk to a licensed mortgage professional who can get you pre-approved and get you ready. Is that what you're saying?
Fully, you need to be. You need to be. You have all ammo in the chamber. You need all ducks in a row. Otherwise, it's going to be a scramble session. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to have all this anxiety surrounding this process.
Yeah.
So you got to have all the stuff done up front so that you can try to make this as not only smooth on your ends, like as a lender or an agent, but like as a buyer, you have to just have everything there so that it's just as easy as it can be on you. It's going to be rough.
So Mike, that brings me to a question I wanted to ask you. If you're giving advice to a buyer in this market, whether you're the real estate agent who's representing the buyer or you're the listing agent vetting buyers, what advice could you give to a buyer in this market that will help maximize their chances of getting an offer accepted?
So one really big thing that I've been doing lately, and this is done a lot in Montgomery County here, and not so much in the rest of the counties, is doing a pre-inspection. So when you go to view the home, do a showing. Now this isn't free either, so you have to make sure that you're really picking and choosing wisely, is bringing an inspector along with you to that showing so that they can kind of go through at more like a high level as opposed to what they would normally do for a regular inspection, but to go through some things so that you can feel more comfortable about potentially not doing inspections or waiving the inspections or the right to terminate with while doing an inspection.
Man, that's an insider's tip, Mike. What a great way to get around that, because I know that's a big selling point, right? If somebody's waiving an inspection, that's probably going to move that offer a little closer to the top, right? So how can you alleviate the concerns of not having an inspection? That's fantastic.
Yeah. Right. So when it comes to like negotiating and presenting an offer, what are some easy things that someone can do to stand out?
Number one, be prepared, be organized, do a little bit of social proof. So like on the agent side, and if I'm working with somebody on the other side that I've never worked before and I'm the buyer's agent, I want to give a little bit of background about myself, what I've been doing, so that the other agent understands, I'm a professional. I do this full time. I'm very well prepared. My team is all here in the state of Maryland. We don't have any outside sources or VAs in other countries. Everybody is here, so the communication is top notch. So that they can feel better about, I've never worked with this person before, and this, that, and the other, it makes me uneasy. Well, I need to alleviate the resistance that they might have as well, on top of just what the seller might be looking for. So it'll help. Just if an agent feels good about it, they're going to present and be like, look, if everything is equal, I'd rather go with this person.
Right. So you get somebody selling for you. Get somebody on the inside. We call that an inside man in the biz.
Right. So like you say, if all else is equal, if like the price is at or above asking, and everybody's doing the same kind of thing. Like, look, everybody's waiving inspections. You don't have a chance if you don't. Everybody's going, at asking with no seller concessions. So like if everybody's on a level playing field, those little things, communication, how you present the offer, and we've all been there with the folks that are part-timers or don't take it serious, where it's like, it's just a little bit of sloppiness, whether it's in your presentation or your inability to answer the phone or return calls. Like it all matters.
Yeah,
all matters, and you might not think it matters, but it does matter.
Right.
Like I'll pick up that call later or whatever, but it matters. Just because you might not feel one way about it doesn't mean somebody else doesn't feel a different way.
Right. Sure. And Mike, you've been out there. Obviously, we have a relationship. Like, we're all best friends. Been friends.
Oh, do you?
Me and Mike have been went to elementary school together. Al came in middle school. So we're all very close. So we can be very formal, but we can also, be friends. Yeah. So. But on like the formal side of things, Mike, you've been really diligent with your social media, and nothing is on accident with what you do. So it seems like you've been on a recent campaign and changing the way that you do your social media. Is there a point you're trying to get across with more of the long form stuff? Is there something you want people to get out of it or know about you?
Yeah. So I've just been making it a point to not have it be a secret as to what I do and how seriously and involved and obsessed I am with what I do. There's, especially like for people that have potentially known you for years and years and years and have seen all the ups and downs in your life and this, that, and the other, and different jobs and so forth. When you just want everybody to know that no matter your level of involvement with them, you want them to know that you're extremely serious about the job that you do, and that it means everything to you, and it means everything to take care of your clients all at the same time. So what I've been doing is trying to just let people know that I'm obsessed. I care about them. I want to make their life easy. And this is what I do every day. And we'd be happy to and honored to help you.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm just making it a point to let them know that I'm listing homes. I'm helping people buy homes. These are the processes that we go through. These are some of the roadblocks that we come up with or come into or run into. And at the end of the day, these are the people that I'm making happy. And here's a little bit about my family and my friends and some of the other stuff that I like to get involved with, like Baltimore sports and fantasy football and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not just all business, but like who I am also behind that.
Right. Yeah, I think I need to get a little bit better at that. It's it's like I'm guarded with, it's all business.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard. I mean, and you got to like document it too, which is, a big part of it, which is super hard because not everybody's, for me, it's unnatural to be like whip out a phone and take a picture or take a video, but world's got to know what we're doing.
Right. Yeah. And like, what a good time to be alive where you can market yourself and reach thousands of people.
For free.
For free.
Yeah.
For free.
If you, So, well, good on you. You've been doing great, Mikey. I'm very proud of you as a friend and as a partner in all of this. Everybody notices your hustle, and it's admirable, and it seems, and you're reaping some of the benefits. Hopefully, the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah,
I do appreciate it, guys. Of course, I just want to, I guess, leave you guys with one thing, or the viewers with one thing. Like year over year, whereas price, we don't have a lot of homes on the market, and sales are way down, but the prices are way up. Just year to year, month to month, they keep going up. 3% in a month is really tough. So think about that when people are looking to, and they're thinking about putting money down. Every day that you wait, potentially, it's just costing you more money. So to get out there and get after it full throttle is the best course of action. All in or all out.
Yep.
I love that, Michael. All in or all out. That's your
burn the
tagline,
ships.
Buddy. Burn the ships. So stole that one from me. I was going to use that at some point in the cast, but
yeah, I stole that from you. Like the Spanish conquistador didn't say it 500 years ago.
The right way, and this guy's using it and you're stealing the lines. I use it off air and never mind. It's great use. Mike, great stuff. Love the heat check. Realtor in the field. Keep doing your thing, buddy. Keep killing it. You're amazing. Mike's what we call in the biz, we call him a rock star. He likes to be called a rock star.
No, please don't call me that. Please don't. Please don't.
Cortez, ready? Cortez wanted to leave himself and his men with only one option as they made their way inland to conquer or die. There is no option for retreat. There is no turning back. So he burned their ships. Hernan Cortez was telling.
Yep.
So sorry for stealing Al's line, which was said by Hernan Cortez in like
Cortez.
1600.
Yeah, nobody knew. Yeah, who was whispering in Cortez's ear, right?
Al.
So,
All right,
Uncle Al was.
Mikey, I will see you soon, my friend. 13 days. I'm coming home.
Woo!
So
And
have
he's
a great
not going back.
I'm coming home.
have a great rest of your day. We're gonna get on with our show. Thank you for joining us, buddy.
You
Love you,
got it,
Mikey.
guys.
Great job, man. Thank you.
Later.
Love you guys too, guys. See ya.
That's
All
Mike
right.
Kalinsky, folks. He's as good as it gets in the real estate market. He's got some great tidbits and some tips for us. All very, very good information for anybody looking to get out there in the market. So take note.
Okay, so we're a little bit behind schedule. When you have a friend on, when you have a guest on, it's natural to get a little behind schedule. So we won't beat ourselves up too bad over it. Al, why don't you? Well, we're going to get into opinionated. We're going to wrap the show up with some news, some headlines, what's going on out there in the world. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll take the reins.
Nice.
You ready for this? Okay.
Yeah.
So, so this article, I had an article sent to me by a family member, and this is it just gives you an idea of how misleading an article can be by the title of it. The title of this article is "A Shady Financial Tool from the Housing Bubble Era is Making a Comeback." Right? Housing bubble, terrifying, right? Crashes and people going bankrupt and death and destruction. So let's dig into what these shady sons of bitches are up to now, right? Let's find out. So the article starts out by highlighting some very real problems with the housing market, right? Not enough homes, affordability, right? The fact that Wall Street firms are buying up homes instead of American families and then charging rent, an astronomical price for rent to these same American families that now can't buy homes, right? All very real problems. Right, but then we get into the meat and potatoes of the article, which is this program that they're talking about. That's housing bubble era, and so basically it's a 0 down payment loan from one of the biggest wholesale lenders, United Wholesale Mortgage, and basically United Wholesale is going to give the buyer the 3% down payment, right, that they would need. Up to $15,000. So you're talking about a $500,000 home max. So they're willing to give the buyer 3% up to $15,000, right? It gets worse, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. It gets worse. These predatory money hungry jerks, right? Here's the worst part. They're not charging any interest. How do they get away with it, right? How do they get away with it? I mean, I don't know how they sleep at night now.
It sounds really 2008 when they were making loans for people and not asking about income. Giving away free non-interest bearing money is so predatory.
Right. It's just nuts, right? I mean, the path that we're heading down, housing market's definitely going to collapse. So now the kicker is that the borrower still has to qualify, right? To your point, they still have to qualify, go through the same underwriting standards as you would on any conventional loan. Have to qualify, make sure that they can make the payments. Now the other thing here is the buyer, right? The buyer, they're getting this loan, 0% the down payment. They're getting the money for the down payment, 0%. The only catch is they have to pay it back when they sell the house or refinance. That's it.
Seems reasonable.
No interest. Just when you sell the house, when you refinance, you got to pay that money back. So here's a company that's trying to stimulate the market, trying to stir the pond a little bit, get a little circulation, right? Get some more movement, free money, helping people out, and this article makes it seem like the end of the world, right? Why would you not want people to take advantage of that, to be able to buy a home? To invest in their property, to build equity, especially at a time now when when values are going up, right? Instead, it seems like this person's trying to curb people away from that and into renting from the Wall Street banks that are charging way too much money. So,
well, here it is. The news media is owned by the same company that stands to benefit from normal consumers buying houses and normal consumers renting, because they're renting from the same companies that own the media.
Isn't
So
that
what?
something?
Yeah, right. So tell me that.
Isn't that something? It's like the game is rigged,
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
it?
it is, and it's funny how those same media outlets are affiliated with the political party that for so long has touted no homelessness and home ownership is everything, and everybody deserves a chance. And so
Right.
those not to get too like conspiracy theorist, but just it's a fact.
Yeah.
So it's very strange that something here to stimulate. Now the worry, I guess, would be that 2008 was they were banks were making loans for folks. They were inflating home values. Appraisers were inflating home values. They were asking stated income. They're doing stated income loans. So people that didn't make any money or made very little money were buying houses they couldn't afford, which led to missed payments, which led to foreclosures. The house values were overvalued, shady appraisals. So people were short selling. In today's world, we have strict guidelines as far as repayment go. There's no way around. You have to qualify for that. And the appraisal process is there's safeguards everywhere you turn with that. And an appraiser is going to place the value that they think is proper, and we can't even talk to the appraisers.
Right. So that's a huge thing. You had people that had appraisers in their pocket before, and now you have to go through an AVM. We cannot communicate with the appraiser. And if we do, to ask
Hold
a
on
question
one second.
about
Sorry. Aaron's calling me a second time. Hey, babe, what's up?
What's your Canva? Like, don't you have a Canva?
Oh, babe, I'm in the middle of the show. I thought it was something serious. I'll call you in 10 minutes. You're on air.
Hey, Aaron.
All right, babe, I'll call you back. Bye. I mean,
You
when
never
your
know.
wife
Double call, you got to answer.
double call, first call I ignore, second call, and she wanted to know something about Canva.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, so sorry to stunt your point there. What were you saying?
No. Just to your point about the appraisers, right? People used to have appraisers in their pocket, and then now there's safeguards to where, we have to order through an AVM, so you get a random appraiser, or not through an AVM. You have to order through
AMC.
AMC, and so you get a random appraiser that most of the time you've never talked to before, and then when you do talk to them, there's certain guidelines and parameters and things that you can say if you did have a question as to, the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms about the appraisal, right? So you can never ask about certain things. So they've taken a lot of steps to, really minimize the possibility of that happening again, right? But yeah, I just think that was a little overboard with a shady financial tool from the housing bubble era making a comeback. Like,
Another big issue with legacy media is they make money at the simplest form, but they make money by getting eyes on their articles.
Right.
And they have to compete with TikTok and Instagram and common everyday folk who are garnering some attention that these legacy media outlets would otherwise get. It's very hard to keep up with it. So they go for shock value, they go for clickbait, and they're dying out, and hopefully they won't be around much longer. And we can just have a million independent journalism folks that do a great job, and the CNNs of the world and the CNS, whatever freaking
Foxes and the MSNBC.
Yeah. And you name it, they all suck.
Yeah.
All right. So I am going to get in for my opinionated. This is a good opinionated. I'm happy with our opinionated this week. That was a really great article, really topical, and link will be in the show description. For my opinionated, I went mortgage adjacent. It's in the realm. There's money involved.
Yeah, it's great.
So back in the headlines is GameStop. GameStop is back in the headlines, and it's not just because the recent release of the highly anticipated NCAA football, which is extremely exciting.
Very,
GameStop
very exciting.
GameStop is back in the headlines because of its stock. So GameStop stock is back in the headlines because stock influencer Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, who's the front man of the 2019-2021 GameStop bull run. If anybody recalls when that went through the roof. Well, anyway, he posted on his X, formerly known as Twitter, account for the first time in 3 years, and he posted a cryptic meme of a guy holding a video game controller, like sitting back and then sitting up. And like that meme, I mean, of course it's dramatic. This guy caused the bull run back in the day, made a lot of people a lot of money. Didn't post for 3 years. Now he posts this meme.
People that are following him see that, and it's like, what's this guy got to say? This is huge.
So that meme was posted, and the price jumped 170% in a week, which was really great for good old Roaring Kitty because he had recently dumped $116 million into GameStop. So, talk about shady. Anyway, I don't think that GameStop is going to like reinvest any of these gains. They didn't do it last time. They could take this windfall and probably adapt their business, go from the brick and mortar into, whatever is next. But the last time this happened, they didn't do that. So there's no reason to believe it's going to happen again. And the reason I'm saying this is it probably is just kind of a pump and dump type thing we got going on. Which, if you're paying attention and if you're on Reddit and you're into that and you're making some money doing it, good for you.
Good for you.
It's kind of a middle finger to the establishment when stuff like this happens, which is, that's cool too. But, I don't know if it's going to last. And I think the Wall Street fat cats, their move is probably to short the stock because there's no way that it's going to stay like this. There's limited value.
Yeah, they don't have some sort of innovative new game console that's proprietary coming out, or some new way to do business like Netflix when they went from DVDs to digital. GameStop is not doing anything different, right? People, most of the time people are buying their games online, and you can get your controllers and accessories and consoles at Walmart, Target, anywhere else. Got a GameStop. I mean, they're still around and people still go into them, and GameStop's fine. I have no problem with GameStop. It's great. Do your thing. But I don't think that any of the stock drop had anything to do with GameStop being innovative in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme is what it is. Roaring Kitty has, he called it last time or whatever, but he's got. There's a movie about it. It's a good movie. It's Stupid Money is what it's called. It's on Netflix. It's good. But yeah, it just seems like a pump. And this guy's got an army behind him. He says it's time. Meanwhile, he invested 116 million previous. He goes, it's time. Everybody buys it. Whoop, makes a bunch of money. I'm sure he cashes out, and then
eventually it's gonna come back down just like it did last time. That's it's wild. It's crazy that they're able to do that. You would think in an industry that is extremely regulated, right? That those kind of where there's a regulatory agency specifically for this, that kind of stuff would be looked at, similar to recently a representative on a House subcommittee for military spending invested $15,000 into a German weapons maker. Right.
Kind of declared war.
Right. Are they going to make a bunch of money on this? Probably.
The people that decide whether or not we go to war or create policies on whether or not
we go to war money on it
are investing in weapons.
And the thing is, it's not even a secret. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that these people are making a ton of money on the very things that they're making decisions about. Right.
What's that called? Are they called warmongers? I think that's the
I think
that's
so.
the term.
Yeah, I think that's the term.
Warmongers, pigs, complete scum.
But yeah, I guess it's legal for them to do it and make a ton of money because we elected them.
But on the other side of this is the crypto movement, the GameStop movement is very much like rebellious, and it is like the people. It's the people on Reddit, where like the legacy old school Wall Street folks. I'm sure there's some young people on Wall Street that like are really good at the like penny stock stuff, or like these like niche like crypto coins. I'm sure there's plenty of young people, and maybe some old, but overall, it's almost like a little like punk rock movement. It's like a punk movement where like the people are making some of this dirty money that these big hedge funds.
Establishment, dude.
Right, right. Occupy. Who knew that Occupy Wall Street would lead to, this generation of people making hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars off of freaking Pepe coin, or
Doge.
it's Doge.
Nerds that sit in front of and they're just sitting in their basement, just no skills or abilities whatsoever, right? But they're very good. They're in their digital little world. They can I shouldn't say no skills or abilities whatsoever, but there's people that made millions of dollars on this, like Doge, by just reading a tweet and investing, just being online, just by being
great.
online.
I love it.
It's fantastic. It's great.
I suffer from FOMO. I suffer from being like, oh, that's not. How's that going to work? And it seems like every time I dip my toe in, I pick, or I'm on the wrong trend. So
or on the downside of it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're getting in if you're getting in when the article is in Times, you're too late.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's really fun, and maybe we can bring some. We got a friend who's really into it, and then I've got well, Leon is early adopter of Bitcoin, and we're talking early adopter.
Wish I would have dug into that in 2011.
Right. Well, I mean, shoot, it might even have been before that with him, but yeah, he's. So anyway, maybe we'll have somebody like that on, and that'd be fun. But why don't we wrap this up before we get to 40 minutes? I think it's been a great show. Let's see. So, did we hit everything? I think we hit everything.
Yeah. I think we got it, baby. We got it. That's a good show.
It's a good show. So that wraps up the show. That wraps up the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Maybe it's the summer air, or the kids getting out of school. Maybe it's the smell of hot dogs and burgers every weekend drifting through the neighborhood. But I just have a good feeling, Al. Good things are coming, baby.
Could be the fact that the winds are going to blow you back up to Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the winds, the winds of whatever.
Trade winds.
Yeah, the trade winds are going to blow you back up to Maryland. We can spend some time. But yeah, things are looking up. Things are looking good. It's hot outside. Flags are flying. Do not forget, June 6, 1944, the greatest generation stormed the beaches of Normandy. Let's make sure we live a good life and thank him for it. God bless America.
God bless America, Al. Have a great weekend.
Sayonara, Kiwasabi.
It was great. Yeah. I feel like we got off to a shaky start, but we brought it in good. Why?